Part 15. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 141. Enlangxiu and Lu Qianqian glared at William Barton and the others angrily. They knew that Ye Chen was definitely not cheating. Ye Chen's calligraphy is at a god level. Ye Chen is at a god level in chess, piano, and painting, and they have seen it all. Shut up, the Emperor and Empress absolutely did not lie. Enlangxiu couldn't help but shouted. One of the prince's narrow eyes fell on Enlangxiu. Empress Ye, I heard that you have two maids, Enlangxiu and Lu Qianqian, who are both beauties on the Juxiao beauty list. Is this Enlangxiu or Lu Qianqian? Enlangxiu has a backing, so I won't have any ideas about her. If this is Lu Qianqian, how about selling her to me? I am willing to buy her at a high price. It is common for the dynasties of the gods to exchange maids with each other and spend money to buy maids from others. Prince Curry, you are really quick to strike. Empress Ye, I also want to buy it. How about we auction it on the spot and the one with the highest price will get it? Several guys spoke, their eyes flashing lustfully. The dynasty of the gods is powerful, and they are all princes, so they are used to being arrogant. Lu Qianqian was extremely angry. But she is not worried about Ye Chen selling her out, she has confidence in Ye Chen. In order to help her and Qiuju vent their anger, Ye Chen abolished Holy Sun Lei Hong and even disabled him. Later, Holy Sun Lei Hong was even beheaded. Ye Chen looked at Shen Kuo, Deputy Commander Shen, I just told them to get out, and they are still talking arrogantly. You take action and beat them all out. William Barton said sternly, Ye Chen, how dare you? I am the prince of the dynasty of the gods, and they are all princes of the dynasty of the gods too. Don't think you are the only one who has brought experts here, we have also brought many experts here. Where are the identities of William Barton and the others? There are still experts to protect them. But there is no comparison with Ye Chen. Shen Kuo and the others are 4 God Emperor level experts, and more than a dozen God King level experts. Apart from Lu Qianqian, Enlangxiu, and the others, the weakest among the God King level powerhouses are 5th level God Kings. There were only 2 divine emperors in total who came to protect William Barton and the others, and together they probably wouldn't be able to defeat Shen Kuo. There are only a dozen or so powerful men at the level of God King. This lineup is actually not low. A person at the level of a God King is already a very powerful person. When an ordinary prince travels, it would be nice to be escorted by a Yangshan level figure. William Barton came here this time, and after begging for a lot of time, his father dispatched 2 God Emperor level figures and several God King level figures. He also didn't expect Ye Chen's protective power to be so strong. 4 God Emperors, a dozen powerful God Kings. There is actually a powerful Emperor level guard here secretly. You still won't take action. Ye Chen said softly, the Lord will humiliate his subjects and die. I hope to see your loyalty. Yes. Shen Kuo said loudly, and in an instant, the 4 God Emperor level experts surrounded Prince William and the others. Beat. Just don't kill me. Shen Kuo ordered. More than a dozen Black Dragon guards were already angry, and they immediately rushed into the flock of sheep like tigers and started to attack like crazy. Qianqian, let's go too. Aren't there a few guys who want to pay for you? Let them know how good you are. Enlangxiu pulled Lu Qianqian and rushed forward. Stop, stop. Damn it, stop it, my prince. William Barton yelled, and he received a lot of punches and kicks in a short period of time. I kick. The solace of Enlangxiu's shoes came into close contact with Prince William's face. For you to be disrespectful to the Emperor and Empress. Lu Qianqian couldn't help but take action. Her own affairs were a little better. She couldn't get angry when William Barton and others said that to Ye Chen. Prince William was immediately kicked by Lu Qianqian on the other side of his face. God King William Barton's first level cultivation and strength are quite good. But now he was extremely frustrated. Among Shen Kuo and others, the weakest one is Lu Qianqian, but Lu Qianqian also has the third level of cultivation of the God King, he can't beat her. The first level of cultivation of the God King was only worthy of being beaten. 4 powerful men of the God Emperor level used battle formations to surround them. William Barton and the others were unable to escape even if they wanted to. Stop it, stop it. Otherwise I will use powerful treasures. William Barton roared. Ye Chen said indifferently, you dare to use powerful treasures to kill people, you will all die here today. Ah! William Barton roared again and again, feeling extremely angry. He has a very powerful God Emperor level attack treasure, but he doesn't dare to use it now. 5 minutes passed before Ye Chen asked An Langxiu and the others to stop taking action. William Barton and the others have been beaten into disgrace. The condition was relatively good, with more than a dozen bones broken. William Barton has at least 50 broken bones in his body, and he will definitely not be able to recover in a short time without a powerful elixir. Prince William, I am quite easy to talk to. But if someone is rude to me, I will definitely make him feel uncomfortable. Ye Chen walked up to William Barton and patted his face. Feeling Ye Chen's second level innate cultivation, William Barton had the urge to kill Ye Chen. However, he still held back and did not take action. If you kill Ye Chen, you will die too. You can go. Ye Chen stood up and took the towel handed over by Lu Qianqian to wipe his hands. William Barton was so angry that he wanted to spit blood. Ye Chen, don't be so arrogant. If you dare to hit us, you will definitely pay the price. William Barton said coldly. After leaving a harsh word, William Barton and his men endured the pain and left quickly. Shen Kuo said with some concern, Empress, although this is very satisfying, William Barton and his men will definitely not give up. When the news is passed back, there will definitely be more strong men coming to the God's dynasty. Come if you want. Prince William and his men have slapped us in the face so hard, we must hit them back hard. Ye Chen said lightly. Shen Kuo sighed in his heart, hoping that nothing would happen, otherwise he would not be able to report back. He might even not be able to go back alive. Everyone, be on guard. Shen Kuo glanced at the other strong men and said in a deep voice, he could only be on guard to deal with possible dangers. Good news doesn't go out, but bad news spreads 1,000 miles. It didn't take long for the news of William Barton and his men being beaten to spread throughout Saintsburg. Damn it! After hearing the news, William Barton and his men were so angry that they couldn't even eat dinner. They wanted to tear Ye Chen and his men apart alive. This Ye Chen is not very capable, but he has a bad temper. When the news reached the ears of Emperor Bamo commented lightly. Unlike William Barton and his men, Emperor Bamo knew clearly that Ye Chen's calligraphy was indeed at the god level. His chess skills and even his piano skills were also at the god level. But his low martial arts value still made him a waste in the eyes of Emperor Bamo, who could kill him at any time. Pay attention to the situation in the God's dynasty. Yes, Your Majesty. Gradually, it was late at night, and the news from Saintsburg City had reached the God's dynasty. Many strong men from the God's dynasty set out overnight. In the middle of the night, Ye Chen turned into a bird and quietly went to the Bamo dynasty's imperial palace. Then, when no one was paying attention, he turned into a small fly and flew to the Bamo dynasty's council hall. This place is equivalent to the Tianji Palace of the Tianyang dynasty, and it is an extremely important place. System, sign in once. Ye Chen said in his heart, he was a little nervous. It's been a long time since I felt this way. The first time I sign in here, I should be able to get something very good. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 142. Sign into the Northern Desert Dynasty Government Hall and get an SS level enhancement card, which can enhance S level rewards. The system voice sounded in Ye Chen's mind, and Ye Chen was instantly shocked. My mouth is watering. SS level enhancement card, the best thing. With just this reward, this trip to the Northern Desert Dynasty would not be in vain. When he obtained the SS level enhancement card before, Ye Chen was torn on whether to strengthen the Sun God body or the 8-9 mysterious skills. In the end, he strengthened the Sun God body more in a short period of time. Now I can finally strengthen the 8-9 mysterious techniques. System, use the SS level strengthening card to strengthen the 89 mysterious arts. Ye Chen said in his mind. Strengthening is successful. The 89 mysterious skills are strengthened into the SS level Kinkan Bible, which can swallow the rules of the world and evolve into its own rules to a certain point. It can be invulnerable to all methods. The system sounds. Ye Chen felt a massive amount of information pouring into his mind. The 8-9 mysterious skills transformed rapidly, and earth-shaking changes took place inside the body. Fortunately, under the protection of the system, Ye Chen will not be harmed at all. Awesome! Ye Chen was very excited to find out what the Kinkan Bible was. This technique is not a little stronger than before. After practicing the 8-9 mysterious skills, one can become indestructible and can regenerate a broken limb. But after all, it's just a mortal body. Practicing the Kinkan Bible is different. The Kinkan Bible allows his body to transform into a world. You can have your own rules of heaven and earth, and your body is no longer a mortal body. Originally, with Ye Chen's cultivation, his lifespan limit was only 800 years, but now it has exceeded 1,000. It will continue to improve in the future. I'm afraid my cultivation level is about to break through. Ye Chen felt secretly happy. Instead of immediately going to other places to sign in, Ye Chen waited quietly for 10 minutes. Boom! The powerful force in the body surges, and the body swallows the rules much faster. Ye Chen's cultivation level has successfully reached the 9th level of the God Emperor. Tisk tisk, the skills have improved my combat power a little bit, and with my improved cultivation now, I should be able to reach the 7th level of the Great Emperor. It's so cool. One step closer to the strength of a semi-saint. Ye Chen hopes that Luo Hongjian can reach the semi-saint level when she breaks through to the Divine Emperor level. Give Luo Hongjian a surprise. There are 2 more chances to sign in. Ye Chen left the political hall. I just got an SS level reward here, and the next reward is probably not that good. Hey, where is this place? Ye Chen entered an ancient tower and found a huge compass. The diameter of the compass actually reaches an astonishing 200 meters. Above the ancient tower, Ye Chen sensed that there was a strong man of the emperor level practicing. What a powerful force! I'm afraid this isn't an imperial weapon. Is it a semi-saint level treasure? Ye Chen secretly thought. Faintly, Ye Chen felt that his body seemed to be longing for it. Could the Kinkan Bible allow me to swallow the power of rules contained in this compass? Ye Chen muttered in his heart. It is really possible. His body can now swallow the power of rules of heaven and earth, but it will be slower to swallow the power of rules from heaven and earth. It will definitely be much faster to directly swallow the power of rules in the compass. System, sign in here. Ye Chen said in his mind. This place is nice. Sign in first to maximize your benefits. Sign into Xingluo Ancient Pagoda and receive the SS level reward of the Red Dust Cord, which can bind a member of the opposite sex. Can sense the opponent's position and will sense when the opponent is in danger. Some information poured into Ye Chen's mind. Ye Chen frowned secretly. The Red Dust Cord is an SS level treasure, but its effect seems to be inconsistent with the status of an SS level treasure. This thing can only be bound to beauties, but beauties basically don't leave the Tianyan Emperor's palace. When they leave the palace, they will be protected by many strong people. I don't think this thing will be used. System, can I bind beauty now? Can. Ye Chen secretly said, then bind it immediately. In an instant, Ye Chen felt that there seemed to be a thread between him and Luo Hanjian. The orientation sensing is accurate, and it can indeed sense whether Hanjian is in danger. Ye Chen sensed it carefully. The emotions conveyed by Hung Chinchuo are relatively calm. It seems that there is still a faint feeling of longing. It seems a bit disadvantageous to have an SS-level treasure like this, but if extreme circumstances arise, this thing is not bad. Ye Chen thought about flying and landed on the compass. Qinkan Bible can also be practiced while idle. Immediately, the powerful power of rules in the compass poured into Ye Chen's body, enhancing his sensory abilities. Interesting. Time gradually passed, and Ye Chen's cultivation level did not improve much, but his perceptual ability was greatly enhanced. Originally, when he arrived at the stone tower, Ye Chen sensed that there was an emperor-level strongman hiding in the stone tower. Now, Ye Chen clearly knew how many emperors there were in the entire imperial palace. There is one here for the stone pagoda and one for the northern desert emperor. It was rumored that the northern desert emperor had the cultivation level of the third level of the great emperor. Now Ye Chen clearly sensed that the northern desert emperor had the cultivation level of the fifth level of the great emperor. Moreover, the northern desert emperor's body was like a furnace and his bloodline was powerful. It is very likely that he has the strength to fight across levels. As time passed by, Ye Chen continued to swallow up power, and the power of the compass was decreasing. Crack. Suddenly, a crack suddenly appeared on the compass. Compass level dropped. The emperor who was practicing above the stone tower immediately opened his eyes when he heard the strange noise. Escape. Using the floating body technique, Ye Chen left the stone tower in an instant. What's going on? The strong men above the stone tower arrived around the compass. He looked at the small crack that appeared on the compass in disbelief. The level of Xingluo Tinpan has been lowered. The old man inspected it carefully with a look of horror in his eyes, and he immediately informed the northern desert emperor. Ye Chen quickly left the imperial palace. The third check-in has not been carried out yet. Many powerful people in the entire imperial palace have taken action. There is a problem with the Xingluo Tinpan. This is a big deal. Check. Someone must be up to something. The northern desert emperor said in a cold voice. Xingluo Tinpan was reduced from the semi-saint level to only the 9th level of the great emperor. He was so heartbroken that he couldn't breathe. Before the northern desert dynasty was established, this stone tower was here, and the Xingluo Tinpan was here. It had been passed down for so long, but something went wrong in his hands. Your Majesty, I don't feel any enemies approaching. The old man in the stone tower frowned and said, his cultivation level of the second level of the great emperor is very strong. The northern desert emperor checked the formation around the stone tower and found that there was no problem with the formation. Ye Chen is very strong in formations, and the formations arranged here cannot stop Ye Chen at all. High Priest, activate the Xingluo Tinpan immediately and see if there is a powerful person with the level of a powerful emperor coming. The northern desert emperor said in a deep voice. Yes. The Xingluo Tinpan was activated in a short period of time. The Xingluo Tinpan at the 9th level of the great emperor was still very powerful. Not long after, the old man said, Your Majesty, there is a strong man at the level of the great emperor in the city. Who? The North Desert Emperor's eyes flashed with cold light. The old man said, the dynasty of the gods, Emperor Chagula. The Northern Desert Emperor looked solemn. Emperor Chagula knew that the 5th level emperor was not a member of the royal family, but he was loyal to the royal family and obtained many resources from the royal family. It must be him. The North Desert Emperor's eyes flashed with cold light. Emperor Chagula obviously had powerful treasures on his body that could hide his aura, so he was not discovered even when he entered the city of Saints Castle. As long as the Xingluo Tinpan is destroyed, he may not be found even if the Xingluo Tinpan is used. He has a motive. Great Emperor, I also think he should be the one to take action. The old man spoke. With strength and motivation, a black pot was firmly placed on the head of the Chakra Emperor. A new emperor has arrived. It's still coming this way. Ye Chen's eyes flashed, and he also discovered that the Chakra Emperor had entered the city. Entering from the west gate, this emperor should come from the dynasty of the gods. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 143. The Chakra Emperor wore a black cloak and walked expressionlessly on the street, covering hundreds of meters in one step. He comes to kill. Target Ye Chen. Ye Chen died in the Northern Mo dynasty, and the relationship between the Tianyang dynasty and the Northern Mo dynasty will definitely deteriorate. As for Luo Hongjian doubting the dynasty of the gods, so what? He comes with a hidden aura, and after killing people, he floats away without leaving any traces. How did Emperor Chakra know that the imperial palace had undergone a sudden change, and that the Northern Desert Emperor and the others would just use the Xingluo Tinpan? Your Majesty, we checked again in detail and it turns out that he is indeed the only one with a great emperor level. The high priest of the Northern Desert dynasty said, his eyes flashing with hatred. The Xingluo Skypan is damaged, and he has a heavy responsibility. The Northern Desert Emperor took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, prepare to use the Emperor Burial Demon Drum. Yes. The high priest's eyes flashed. The Emperor Burial Demonic Drum is a level 9 imperial weapon of their Northern Desert dynasty. Used by powerful men at the level of the Great Emperor, it can kill people up to the 7th level of the Great Emperor. The Emperor Burial Demonic Drum is not a one-time treasure, but it will take a year to regenerate its power after being used once. It won't be used easily. Northern Desert Emperor Zun and the others are really angry this time. High Priest, it's up to you to take action. The Northern Desert Emperor said solemnly, and he transferred the soul breath of the Chakra Emperor into the Emperor Burial Demon Drum. The Emperor Burial Demonic Drum appeared in front of the High Priest. Using this will consume a lot of his power, and it will take him 3 to 5 days to recover. Your Majesty, do you want to think about it again? What if it wasn't the Chakra Emperor who took action? Someone next to me could not help but speak. This person has a high status and is a spy planted here by the dynasty of the gods. Seeing that the Northern Desert Emperor and the others were going to use the Emperor Burying Demon Drum, this person couldn't help but speak. If the Chakra Emperor dies, the dynasty of the gods will suffer huge losses. Snort. The Northern Desert Emperor looked over with cold eyes. The other party felt a chill in his heart, knowing that he must have been suspected by the Northern Desert Emperor. If evidence is found that something is wrong with him, he will die. Your Majesty, if it weren't for the Chakra Emperor, the real enemy might be at large. We have offended the dynasty of gods because of this. The man said bravely. The high priest said coldly, even if he didn't do it, he should die if he concealed his presence and sneaked into the city of St. Fort. Do it? The Northern Desert Emperor ordered with a cold face. The Chakra Emperor is already approaching the royal embassy, and Ye Chen plans to take action. However, since the opponent has the cultivation level of the 5th level of the Great Emperor, he may not be able to kill him. Just then. Boom. The high priest slapped the Emperor Burial Demonic Drum, and the sound of the drum instantly spread throughout the entire city of St. Fort. Countless people woke up. My scalp is numb. They seemed to see a long funeral procession, playing miserable funeral music. A quarter of the power in the high priest's body instantly disappeared. Not good. The Chakra Emperor's face changed wildly, he knew what the sound of the drum meant. Many great emperors died under the demon drum of Emperor Burial. Call out. The Chakra Emperor burned his life force, he defended with all his strength, and at the same time fled into the distance with all his strength. Boom! Not too far away, the sound of a second drum spread throughout the city. The Chakra Emperor's face turned pale instantly, and his soul had been severely damaged by the Emperor Burial Demon Drum. Northern Desert Emperor, spare your life. I'm not here to target your Northern Desert dynasty. The Chakra Emperor sent out a summons. The Northern Desert Emperor did not respond. The Emperor Burial Demonic Drum is a magic weapon. Once it rings, either the target dies, or the person who beats the drum dies. Boom! The High Priest took the third palm, and a huge amount of power was taken away. 3/4 of his power was lost. The Chakra Emperor froze. He is extremely desperate. Boom! The High Priest struck the Emperor Burial Demonic Drum for the 4th time. All the strength in his body was drained and his face turned extremely pale. Sweating like rain. The Chakra Emperor died and his body fell from the sky. Before it even landed, the Northern Desert Emperor's divine consciousness swept away the Chakra Emperor's body in an instant. Warning to everyone, the Chakra Emperor sneaked into Saint Castle without permission and has been executed. The majestic voice of the Northern Desert Emperor spread throughout the entire city of St. Fort. Ah! William Barton yelled in horror. The drum sound just now was actually to kill the Chakra Emperor. William Barton and the others were all terrified. They knew why the Chakra Emperor came. What should I do if I die here now? The dynasty of the gods suffered huge losses, and none of them could escape punishment. How so? William Barton wanted to die. They just joined forces to disgust Ye Chen, but they didn't expect to be beaten badly. The Chakra Emperor is still dead here. The Chakra Emperor alone can equal an army of 3 to 4 million. The loss is endless. Is this the Emperor Burial Demonic Drum? It's so powerful. Ye Chen marveled in his heart, no one of the 4 dynasties should be underestimated. Provoking the Gods Dynasty, the Gods Dynasty sent overnight a powerful man at the 5th level of the Great Emperor. The Northern Desert Dynasty used the Emperor Burial Demon Drum again. Empress, are you okay? Lu Qianqian and Langxiu and the others hurriedly entered Ye Chen's bedroom. They guarded outside Ye Chen's bedroom at night. What can happen to me? Will the Northern Desert Dynasty still use the Emperor Burial Demon Drum to deal with me? Ye Chen opened the quilt and got up and said. Lu Qianqian and Langxiu's faces were slightly red. Ye Chen was wearing autumn clothes and long trousers, but after all, they were the clothes underneath. Empress, let us help you get dressed. And Langxiu remembered Luo Hongjian's instructions. Ye Chen nodded slightly but did not refuse. Chunlin and the other 4 girls often dressed for him in Fengming Palace. At first, Ye Chen wouldn't let him do it because he wasn't used to it, but Chunlin and the others felt aggrieved, each and every one of them. Gradually, Ye Chen got used to it. However, this was the first time that Langxiu and Lu Qianqian dressed him. Suddenly, Langxiu touched something she shouldn't have touched. Ye Chen took a breath of cold air. Hold it. It's embarrassing to stand up at this time. Lan, Qianqian, I'd better do it myself. Ye Chen said, and Langxiu and Lu Qianqian dressed him up, which was really a great test for him. Empress, your Majesty has ordered us to take good care of you. Chunlin and the others can do it, but can't we? Empress, you don't dislike us, do you? And Langxiu looked at Ye Chen pitifully. Her pretty face was slightly red, she just accidentally touched it. Ye Chen sighed in his heart, this evil world is really enjoyable. Infinite Heavenly Lord, don't let them restrain their beauty. I'm afraid I won't be able to hold on to my Taoist heart. Ye Chen muttered in his heart. When you go back, should you tell Luo Hongjian your strength earlier? The temptation is too great, it's fatal. Emperor, Empress, it's ready. Lu Qianqian blushed and said, it was the first time for them to help a man get dressed. When they first became Ye Chen's maids, if they were asked to do such a thing, they would be extremely resistant. Now they have no objection at all. "Empress, how are you?" Ye Chen walked out of the room. Shen Kuo and the others arrived, and they looked at Ye Chen nervously. The Northern Desert Emperor's attack was aimed at Emperor Chakra, but when Emperor Chakra came over, it was most likely aimed at Ye Chen. What if he had taken action before he died? As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 144. Shen Kuo checked Ye Chen and felt relieved. Ye Chen was in good condition. He was just a little bit angry. Glancing at An Langxiu and Lu Qianqian, Shen Kuo expressed his understanding. They didn't deliberately become ugly at this moment. How could he be calm with two such stunning maids around him? "Empress, please notify us immediately if there is any problem." Shen Kuo quickly retreated. Even if Ye Chen and An Langxiu had something wrong, it was not something he could control. "En Lan, Qianqian, I'll give you something." Two 3-inch long head broken nails appeared in Ye Chen's hand. He didn't need this thing. With the attack power of the first level of the Great Emperor, he could do more than that with just one strike. "Is this an imperial weapon?" En Langxiu and Lu Qianqian showed shock in their eyes. Ye Chen nodded, "Yes, but they are only disposable imperial weapons, and they can only burst out the first level of the Great Emperor, with average power." En Langxiu and Lu Qianqian looked at Ye Chen with a bit of a strange look. With the cultivation of the second level of Xiantian, he said that the attack power of the Emperor level is average, and he didn't even blush. "Awesome. This thing appeared at my bedside. There is also a strong man who sent me a message to let me give it to you. You can use it when necessary." Ye Chen chuckled. En Langxiu analyzed, maybe the Emperor-level strong man is not convenient to enter Saintsburg City, so he sent these two treasures across the air. Ye Chen secretly praised En Langxiu. "Good analysis. Save him from explaining more. En Lan, Qianqian, this is obtained from Peihakan. If you get it, your head will be moved. You should use it with caution." En Langxiu and Lu Qianqian did not refuse and took a head-breaking nail respectively. In their opinion, it was useless for Ye Chen to take this thing. The Emperor's weapon is not something that can be used by just anyone. There are strict requirements for the user. The second level of Xiantian is too low. "Empress, we will definitely ensure your safety," En Langxiu said. Lu Qianqian nodded seriously. "Take turns to rest," Ye Chen said and went back to the room. It was still late at night, so he had to continue sleeping. Outside, En Langxiu and Lu Qianqian didn't sleep at all. They couldn't sleep either. Ye Chen actually gave them each an imperial weapon, which had a great psychological impact on them. Even if it was just a one-time imperial weapon. Even if the attack power was only the first level of the Emperor. The imperial weapon Ye Chen gave them was extremely precious. Not to mention the strong men of the 8th and 9th levels of the Divine Emperor, such an imperial weapon would definitely kill the 7th level of the Divine Emperor in seconds. "Qianqian, do you hope that the Empress can reach the level of gathering stars or even the Sea of Stars?" En Langxiu transmitted the message. "Hope, hope." Lu Qianqian transmitted the message softly, her face blushed in the dark, of course she knew what En Langxiu meant. "Qianqian, if the Empress really reaches that level of strength, will His Majesty keep his promise?" After a long silence, Lu Qianqian said, "It should be possible. His Majesty is not an ordinary woman. She is the ruler of a country and her words are golden. She will definitely not regret what she said." En Langxiu's eyes lit up. "Qianqian, let's work hard to let the Empress have more time to practice and improve their strength quickly. Even if we can't become the Empress's woman, the Empress is so good to us, it's not bad for us to try our best to help the Empress improve their strength." "Yeah. And Langxiu and the others were really grateful to Ye Chen. Ye Chen was very good to them. And it wasn't for their bodies. Early the next morning, En Langxiu and Lu Qianqian entered the room to help Ye Chen get up. Ye Chen took a breath of cold air. Wow, it was still snowing in Tianjinburg in February, and En Langxiu and Lu Qianqian were wearing very cool clothes. They were not wearing ordinary made clothes. The clothes on their bodies perfectly show their figures, and their lethality is off the charts. Either of the two women would be deadly if they were dressed like this. Let alone together. En Lan, Qianqian, put on your original clothes. If you dress like this, aren't you afraid that I will make a mistake and Hongyan will kill me with a knife? Ye Chen took a deep breath and said. Two fairies. It was probably En Langxiu's idea. Lu Qianqian is more obedient. En Langxiu smiled and said, Empress, if we don't agree, you may not have the ability to do anything you want. Empress, in fact, your talent is not particularly bad. If you work hard, you will have no problem reaching the level of Juxing or even the level of Xingai. We tell you in advance that if you reach that level of strength, we agree. Lu Qianqian didn't say anything, she just looked at Ye Chen shyly. Ye Chen swallowed his saliva. Life is hard. Luo Hongyan must be deeply in love with him. As the queen, she would give such conditions. If he is unfaithful, how can he be worthy of Luo Hongyan's heart? If he is not unfaithful, En Langxiu and Lu Qianqian will be taken advantage of by others in the future? It's too difficult for me. This is a choice of beasts or worse than beasts. Ye Chen sighed in his heart. Put it back on quickly. Ye Chen said in a bitter voice. For the time being, he would not have any thoughts about En Langxiu and the others. Luo Hongyan has not consummated the marriage yet. Luo Hongyan's temptation to Ye Chen is much greater than that of En Langxiu and the others. Okay. En Langxiu and Lu Qianqian quickly switched back and could seduce Ye Chen every once in a while. They just don't believe it. Ye Chen still doesn't work hard to practice. Let's go out and take a walk. Ye Chen went out. It's the first time I come here, so I have to go around and bring some specialties back to Luo Hongyan, Luo Yudi, and others. Prince John and the others are gone. They caused trouble yesterday, and Emperor Chakra died at night. How can they still be in the mood to stay here? Not long after, Ye Chen heard some discussions. You guys ran fast. Ye Chen muttered in his heart. If Johnson and the others stayed here to cause trouble, he would not be soft-hearted. North Desert Imperial Palace. Poseidon arrived at the palace. When Emperor Bamo saw him, Emperor Poseidon knelt down and saluted respectfully. Poseidon, please contact Ye Chen. Last night, Emperor Chakra came to kill him, and we killed Emperor Chakra. For this reason, let him help to intercede and release Emperor Ivan. North Desert Emperor said. Emperor Poseidon spoke up, and if he was rejected, there would still be room for maneuver. Yes, Your Majesty. Emperor Poseidon said respectfully. Although Emperor Bamo and his men did not help Ye Chen at all, Emperor Bamo felt that Ye Chen did not know this, and they could sell favors. Ye Chen walked around. At noon, he arrived at a high-end restaurant. Emperor Poseidon invited him to a banquet here, and he agreed to come. Empress Ye, welcome. Emperor Poseidon bowed to greet him, very politely. Emperor Poseidon, I have heard of your great name for a long time. Ye Chen smiled and said, he followed Emperor Poseidon into the top floor of the restaurant. The entire restaurant was booked by Emperor Poseidon. After 3 rounds of drinks, Emperor Poseidon said, Empress Ye, Emperor Chakra came here to kill you last night, you should know this. Ye Chen nodded slightly. He felt the killing intent of Emperor Chakra. Emperor Poseidon said, Empress Ye, His Majesty used a powerful imperial weapon to kill Emperor Chakra. I wonder if Empress Ye can help us get Emperor Ivan back from the Northern Desert Dynasty. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Dit. Chapter 145. Ye Chen looked at God Emperor Pose. Why did Emperor Ivan come back? The two of them had long since turned into corpses. God Emperor Pose, the Northern Desert Dynasty actually used the Emperor's burial demonic drum for me, and killed a powerful man like Emperor Chakra. I am deeply honored. Ye Chen chuckled. God Emperor Bo said seriously, Empress Ye, you are a precious guest of our Northern Desert Dynasty. It should. The smile on Ye Chen's face faded. God Emperor Poseidon, do you think I will believe it? God Emperor Poseid frowned secretly. If it were him, he wouldn't believe it either. The Chakra Emperor is a powerful person at the 5th level of the Emperor. Ye Chen is just an empress with low strength and no background. Even if the relationship between Tianyang Dynasty and Bamo Dynasty is okay tomorrow, it won't be like this. Empress Ye. Ye Chen raised his hand to stop God Emperor Poseid from continuing. God Emperor Poseid, be honest. No matter what happens, the news will be exposed sooner or later, right? Even if I intercede for you, I will definitely not release you immediately. God Emperor Pose was silent for a while and said, Ye Emperor Palace, no matter what the reason, Emperor Chakra came here to kill you, so we solved your trouble, right? Ye Chen nodded slightly, that's not bad. I can help you tell me. As for whether the other party will release the person or whether Emperor Ivan is dead, I cannot guarantee it. In about 2 months, you go to Tianyang Imperial City and I will give you a result. God Emperor Poseid nodded slightly. In his opinion, it was okay for Ye Chen to make such a promise. If Ye Chen agreed straight away, he would be suspicious. The other party is a top emperor, how can Ye Chen have such faith with the other party? Empress Ye, try this. This is the specialty of our Bamo dynasty. Pose God Emperor said. Ye Chen stared at God Emperor Poseid. God Emperor Poseid, don't you need to report to the Northern Desert Emperor immediately? He is too lazy to eat with God Emperor Poseid. God Emperor Poseid glanced at Enlangxiu and Lu Qianqian. It seems that I am redundant. Empress Ye, you are right. This must be reported to His Majesty immediately. God Emperor Pose left with a sad expression. This table is not cheap. Even if he is the God Emperor, he can't always eat so well. Enlan, Qianqian, please sit down and have something to eat. I can't even eat such a big table. Ye Chen chuckled and said, this is not in the palace, just be casual when you go out. Enlangxiu and Lu Qianqian sat down obediently. One on the left and one on the right sat next to Ye Chen. Empress, this is delicious. Empress, this looks good. The two women kept picking up food for Ye Chen. Color is emptiness, emptiness is color, form is emptiness, emptiness. Ye Chen thought silently in his heart. Even eating a meal is a big test. How hard life is. God Emperor Pose once again entered the imperial palace, and he reported the situation to the Northern Desert Emperor. God Emperor Bosai, follow Empress Ye when they return to Tianyang Dynasty. Let Emperor Ivan return as soon as possible. The Northern Desert Emperor said in a deep voice. Emperor Ivan is very important to their Northern Desert Dynasty, and he doesn't want anything to happen to Emperor Ivan. Yes, Your Majesty. The Chakra Emperor died. How so? The dynasty of the gods is in the west. It's daylight here in Fort Saint, but not yet there. Many people were awakened from their sleep. They couldn't believe the news. Isn't the Chakra Emperor a powerful person at the 5th level of the Emperor? How could he be killed? The Northern Desert Emperor is crazy. Everyone, how do you think this matter should be handled? William Kane, Emperor of the Dynasty of the Gods, said in a deep voice, his expression extremely ugly. This night was so uncomfortable. First, they got the news that Prince William and the others were beaten violently. Now that we have received news of the death of Emperor Chakra, the dynasty of the gods has been completely embarrassed. Everyone in the hall was talking a lot. They are very confused. Going to war with the Northern Desert Dynasty? The teacher comes from Wyoming. The Chakra Emperor secretly sneaked into Saint Castle City and was killed, so they had nothing to say. Besides, the Northern Desert Dynasty is not easy to mess with. Now that they have lost another powerful man at the 5th level of the Great Emperor, they may suffer a loss in a fight. Your Majesty, it was Ye Chen who caused this matter after all. I think we can target the conflict against him. That's right, Your Majesty, we have to start from the root cause. Someone mentioned Ye Chen, and many others immediately responded. The Emperor of the Tianyang dynasty is a female emperor, and she only has the cultivation level of a god king. The Emperor of the Northern Mo dynasty is a powerful man of the Great Emperor level. The Northern Mo dynasty is much more united. In comparison, Tianyang dynasty is easy to bully. Besides, they were targeting Ye Chen, not the Emperor Luo Hongjian directly. What you said makes sense. William Kane said solemnly, then send strong men to intercept and kill Ye Chen when he returns to Tianyang dynasty. If Ye Chen is killed, the dynasty of the gods can at least save some face. In the Tianyang dynasty, Luo Hongjian also learned about the death of Emperor Chakra, and she was frightened. Johnson and the others were beaten before, and the Chakra Emperor came over overnight, and the target must be Ye Chen. Strange, why did the Northern Desert Emperor kill the Chakra Emperor? Luo Hongjian was confused. If this is done, the Emperor burial drum will not be usable for a year, and it will greatly offend the God's dynasty. Even if the God's dynasty temporarily holds back, the relationship between the two countries will deteriorate a lot. Your Majesty, Chunlin asks for an audience. Nangongneng reported. Let her in. Luo Hongjian said lightly. Chunlin soon came to Luo Hongjian. Your Majesty, someone poisoned our Fengming Palace. Deadly toxins were found in the food in our Fengming Palace. Fortunately, Eunuch Lu found it, otherwise the consequences would be disastrous. Chunlin said with a pale face. They would carefully test the diet every day, and they naturally tested it today. At first, they did not find any problems in the test, and finally it was Lu Zhongliang who found it. Before Ye Chen left, he told Chunlin and the others that the daily meals must be checked by Lu Zhongliang before they can be eaten. Lu Zhongliang is a scorpion spirit, an expert in playing with poison. What a courage! Luo Hongjian's eyes flashed with cold light. This matter was most likely done by Taixuan Holy Land. Although Prince Mu had someone poison someone before, he had never poisoned the entire Fengming Palace at the same time. Chunlin, be careful. I will send a master to Fengming Palace. I will deal with this matter seriously. Luo Hongjian was very angry. She was very angry when she learned that Pei Hekan was killed. Pei Hekan had killed people in the past. Now he did it again. If Ye Chen came back and found that all the people in Fengming Palace were poisoned to death, how could she explain to Ye Chen? Thank you, Your Majesty. After Chunlin left, Luo Hongjian asked someone to call the Minister of Justice. Minister Zhou, how many people who were imprisoned in Taixuan Holy Land who should have been killed but were not killed? Luo Hongjian asked. Zhou Muchen, the Minister of Justice, said hurriedly, Your Majesty, this number is not small, about 100 or 200 people. The strength of Taixuan Holy Land is there, and the court will give face in the past. People from Taixuan Holy Land who should be killed are often given lenient sentences and long-term imprisonment, and those who have made meritorious contributions can be given a reduced sentence. The Ministry of Justice is very troubled by this. It is difficult to provoke the Ministry of Justice of Taixuan Holy Land. Some guys in it live in prison like they live in their own homes. Living like a master. Luo Hongjian said indifferently, the country cannot wrongly accuse a good person, but it cannot let a bad person go. Those who should be killed according to the law will be beheaded uniformly to uphold the law and discipline. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Dit. Chapter 146. Hiss. Zhou Muchen took a breath of cold air. How did Taixuan Holy Land offend Luo Hongjian? Among the 100 or 200 people, some were very important figures in Taixuan Holy Land. They actually wanted to kill them all together. Your Majesty, do you want to think about it again? Zhou Muchen carefully reminded that if you do this, Taixuan Holy Land will probably be separated from the court. Luo Hongjian shook her head. I have thought it over carefully. I am kind enough to them in Taixuan Holy Land. If you don't care about your kindness, don't blame me for being rude to them. Zhou Muchen nodded lightly. Your Majesty, will that be a public execution, or will it be carried out secretly? Luo Hongjian thought for a little longer this time. The death of so many people is a bit irritating to ordinary people. Let's kill them privately and let Xilang Ge supervise them. Ge Xilang has a close relationship with Taixuan Holy Land. Yes, Your Majesty. Zhou Muchen quickly followed the decree and left. After receiving the imperial decree, Ge Xilang was extremely horrified. He immediately spread the word. Using the long-distance communication talisman, it didn't take long for the news to reach Taixuan Holy Land. What? Gong Kanghai's expression changed drastically. Luo Hongjian actually wants to kill 100 or 200 people from their Taixuan Holy Land. This is really crazy. Holy Lord, this should be His Majesty's response to poisoning us. The people in Fengming Palace are probably dead. Check. Gong Kanghai said in a deep voice. Half an hour later, Gong Kanghai received the news from the palace. The people in Fengming Palace were not dead, and the poison was detected. Bang! Gong Kanghai smashed an exquisite vase to pieces. He was furious. No one in Fengming Palace died, but Luo Hongjian actually wanted to kill 100 or 200 people in Taixuan Holy Land, including the old Holy Lord's juniors and his juniors. After venting his anger, Gong Kanghai arrived at Pei Wei's place. Pei Wei said calmly, Holy Lord, this is a good thing and a bad thing. The news of the person's death will definitely not be hidden, and it will definitely have an impact on the reputation of our Taixuan Holy Land. But on the one hand, it lets us know that Ye Chen has a more important position in Luo Hongjian's heart. On the other hand, Luo Hongjian also gave us a reason to rebel in Taixuan Holy Land. Gong Kanghai felt a little better. Mr. Pei, then why don't we take action and just watch those people being executed? Pei Wei frowned and said, what can you do? If they make any more moves at this time, I'm afraid their crimes will be made public, and the reputation of our Taixuan Holy Land will be greatly reduced. And apart from them, there are no other prisoners in our Taixuan Holy Land. Gong Kanghai was silent. Unless they rebel immediately, Luo Hongjian is the king, and justice lies with Luo Hongjian. But if Taixuan Holy Land rebels at this time, Taixuan Holy Land will take the lead in the rebellion. The focus of the royal family's attack is their Taixuan Holy Land. Prince Wei, Siduta and the others will be very happy. Holy Lord, the Chakra Emperor is dead. What do you think of this? Pei Wei asked. Gong Kanghai said, Mr. Pei, I'm afraid there is something hidden in this. There is absolutely no need for the Northern Desert Emperor to kill anyone. It would be better to expel him and let the Gods dynasty pay compensation. In the past, when the great emperor infiltrated, this was basically the way to deal with it. Pei Wei said quietly, do you think the Gods dynasty will seek revenge from the Bamo dynasty and go back if something like this happens? Gong Kanghai shook his head. I'm afraid not. The Northern Desert Dynasty is not easy to mess with. Whether the Gods Dynasty can defeat the Northern Desert Dynasty is a question. Even if it wins, the Gods Dynasty will suffer heavy losses. War will not easily break out between dynasties. Pei Wei said softly, after the Chakra Emperor dies, they have to do something. You can send people to the dynasty of the gods, and you can let them target Ye Chen. Gong Kanghai's eyes lit up. It's good for the dynasty of gods to bully Ye Chen for a while. Killing Ye Chen can at least give an explanation to the people. Thank you, Mr. Pei, for your advice. Gong Kanghai cupped his hands and said. Pei Wei waved his hand, even if I don't say anything, as long as the Gods dynasty does not want to fight with the Bamo dynasty now, there is a high probability that they will also think of targeting Ye Chen. Let them take action, let's hold back for now. Gong Kanghai said, Mr. Pei, when the time comes to act, should we ask the powerful men from the Gods dynasty for help? Pei Wei frowned. It's easy to ask God, but hard to turn away. Let's check the situation first. Perhaps the royal family suffered heavy losses after the actions of the powerful men of the Gods dynasty, and we don't need to do this. Gong Kanghai nodded lightly, chatted for a while and then left. Pei Wei secretly shook his head. Gong Kanghai's talent was okay, but as the leader of a faction, he was still a little unqualified. The two families take turns controlling Taixuan Holy Land, so it is inevitable that something like this will happen. It's a good thing for him. If Gong Kanghai is too smart, Gong Kanghai will also become his powerful opponent. The dynasty of the gods is also involved, and things are getting more and more interesting. Ye Chen died in the hands of the powerful men of the gods dynasty. If Luo Hongjian takes revenge emotionally, the opportunity she has been waiting for will come. Pei Wei murmured to himself. He has been waiting and working hard for decades for the throne. If you succeed, it will all be worth it. He has created a family legacy for generations to come. If he fails, Pei Wei believes that with his own strength, he will not die. Hongjian is very angry. What happened? Ye Chen frowned secretly. Through the red dust rope, he sensed Luo Hongjian's emotions. Sign in at Bamo Imperial Palace again, write 2 words for Bamo Emperor's father, and go back early. Ye Chen said in his heart. Luo Hongjian was very angry, and he was a little worried. Soon, Ye Chen asked Shen Kuo and others to contact Bamo Emperor. Half an hour later, Ye Chen met Bamo Emperor. And he met him in Bamo Emperor's bedroom. Bamo Emperor's father was also there. Bamo Emperor. Old man. Ye Chen bowed. Bamo Emperor was the emperor of a country after all, and his father was an old man of more than 300 years old. Empress Ye, you sent someone to send a visiting card, saying that you will not participate in the Juxiao calligraphy competition tomorrow. Write 2 words for my father today, and then return today. Bamo Emperor returned the bow. Ye Chen nodded slightly. The Emperor Chakra of the Gods dynasty died here. It's better for me to go back earlier. There is no guarantee that the Gods dynasty will not send strong men here again. Yet. The Emperor of Bamo nodded. It was normal for Ye Chen to have such an idea. Xiao Ye, thank you for your trouble. The father of the Emperor of Bamo said weakly. He didn't have much time left. He was very good at calligraphy and was a master-level figure. You are too polite, old man. Ye Chen said hurriedly. Ye Chen still respected the father of the Emperor of Bamo. In addition, Ye Chen could understand that the Emperor of Bamo sent Emperor Ivan to kill Yao Jingguo. From his point of view, he hoped that the Tianyang dynasty would be an ally, but he didn't want the ally to be too strong. Of course, understanding is understanding, and Ye Chen was not polite when he secretly made trouble. Empress Ye, the pen, ink, paper and inkstone have been prepared, please. The Emperor of Bamo said. Ye Chen nodded slightly. He came to the desk. The pen, ink and paper were all top grade. Ye Chen picked up the pen. May you be as blessed as the East Sea and as long-lived as the South Mountain. The big characters appeared on the paper, majestic and imposing, as if the aura of blessing and longevity was flowing out of the paper. Good characters. The Emperor of Bamo praised, and his father stared at the characters written by Ye Chen intently. God-level calligraphy, and it is also the top among the God-level calligraphy, amazing. The father of the Emperor of Bamo was amazed. Ye Chen smiled and took the characters away, and he wrote another 4 characters. Lips and teeth are cold. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 147. The Northern Desert Emperor looked at the 4 words written by Ye Chen in silence. He might have done something wrong. The addition of a great emperor-level expert to the Tianyang dynasty would not have much impact on the Northern Desert dynasty. But if the Tianyang dynasty falls, the pressure on the Northern Desert dynasty will be huge. Simple truth. Xiao, you wrote well. The Northern Desert Emperor's father said with emotion. Xiao, thank you for these 2 words you wrote. The old man likes them very much. Huang I will pass on the next one to you. God-level calligraphy is rare. You can read more. The Northern Desert Emperor came to his senses and nodded slightly. Empress Ye, thank you for the gift of calligraphy. I will give you a national treasure of our Bamo dynasty. The Northern Desert Emperor looked at Ye Chen and said solemnly. Ye Chen's eyes lit up, national treasure? That should be something good. The Northern Desert Emperor is actually so generous. If he doesn't accept it, he will probably be struck by lightning. Thank you, Northern Desert Emperor. Ye Chen smiled. Empress Ye, please wait a moment. The Northern Desert Emperor said. Ye Chen nodded. He could get the national treasure, you can just wait a little longer. 10 minutes later, the Imperial Palace guards brought over a woman wearing a veil. The woman is tall, with golden hair, skin like jade, and eyes like 2 beautiful gems. See your majesty. I've met Empress Ye. The woman salutes and her voice sounds nice. Ye Chen recognized this woman. Isn't she the Natasha Xuanhuan said? Ranked 4th on the beauty list, a little higher than An Langxiu and Lu Qianqian. She is indeed extremely beautiful. However, judging from Ye Chen's aesthetics, she and An Langxiu and Lu Qianqian were in the same league. Compared with Xuanhuan, she is quite different. Empress Ye, you should know her. Natasha is the national treasure beauty of our Northern Desert dynasty. I will give her to you today. The Northern Desert Emperor spoke. Ye Chen was stunned. The Northern Desert Emperor actually wanted to give Natasha to him as a gift? He thought the national treasure was a treasure. Northern Desert Emperor, this is inappropriate. Miss Natasha is a person and cannot be given as a gift. Ye Chen shook his head firmly. Just kidding, Xuanhuan asked him to take Natasha back, but could he really take her back? Please Emperor Ye to take you in. Natasha knelt down and begged. The Northern Desert Emperor said, Empress Ye, because of Natasha, several major forces in our Northern Desert dynasty fought against each other, and my 2 sons turned against each other. Natasha is no longer suitable to stay in the Northern Desert dynasty. Going to the Tianyang dynasty is the best choice. Generally, if she goes to any place, it will cause trouble. It would be nice to be your maid. Anyway, you already have 2 maids, An Langxiu and Lu Qianqian, so Natasha will be fine. Tears flashed in Natasha's eyes. Empress Ye, during the fighting between all parties, Natasha no longer has her family, and Natasha also hopes to leave this sad place. Well. Ye Chen sighed secretly. Being too good-looking is not a good thing. Fortunately for Xuanhuan, she is the boss herself. Lu Qianqian and An Langxiu were all in great trouble. Lu Qianqian was hunted down, and the mountains behind An Langxiu's divine sword villa were now full of withered graves. There are so many strong people in the world, and many of them have good moral character, but there are still many people with high strength who cannot stand up to poor moral character, and they do whatever they can. Sorry, Northern Desert Emperor, I still can't accept this gift. Ye Chen shook his head firmly. He is not worried that Natasha is a spy. This can be easily determined based on his strength. When he arrives at Fengming Palace, he can ask the companion Chen Liu to further confirm it. But there is no need for him to accept Natasha as a maid. She is a foreigner, and becoming her maid will definitely create a lot of public opinion. There are many people in the world who are more pitiful than her. Empress, yeah, but you have just accepted the gift I gave you. The Northern Desert Emperor frowned. Ye Chen shook his head. I'm sorry, Emperor Bamo, I didn't know the gift you gave me was a person. With your energy, Emperor Bamo, I should be able to guarantee Natasha's safety. Northern Desert Emperor, if there is nothing else, it's time for me to set off and return. The Northern Desert Emperor frowned secretly. Soon Ye Chen said goodbye and left. He felt that the North Desert Emperor sent Natasha out with another plan, which was to make him contribute more to Emperor Ivan's affairs. No matter how beautiful Natasha is, her value is much lower than that of an emperor. But Emperor Ivan is already dead. He killed it with his own hands. Natasha, what are your plans now? The Northern Desert Emperor said that it was impossible for him to take Natasha in by himself. Because Natasha is his biological daughter. It's just that no one else knows this, including Natasha herself. With Natasha looking like this, her mother cannot be ugly anymore. The Northern Desert Emperor is so powerful that he once concealed his identity from Natasha's mother for 2 years. The Northern Desert Emperor never found Natasha's mother again. He didn't look for him for a while, and Natasha's mother moved away in grief. The two sons turned against each other because of Natasha, and several forces fought fiercely because of her. The Northern Desert Emperor only saw Natasha again some time ago. He originally had other thoughts. I was dumbfounded when I saw Natasha. When the child was born, he hid Natasha's blood aura, so others could not find her identity, but Bamo Emperor Zun could see it at a glance. Natasha turned out to be his own daughter. His two sons turned against each other for Natasha. Bamo Emperor Zun was confused at that moment. Natasha was their sister. If this news was exposed, it would be a scandal of the royal family. For Bamo Emperor Zun, the best way was to keep Natasha away. Your Majesty, I still want to go to Tianyang Dynasty, I want to stay away from here. Natasha bowed her head. Her family died in the fight, she really wanted to leave. Bamo Emperor Zun nodded slightly. I can let Emperor Poseidon send you to Tianyang Imperial City, but it is difficult to ensure your safety in ordinary places. Even if you use a treasure that hides your appearance, without the protection of a powerful force, Natasha is likely to be found even if she hides in the mountains and forests. Natasha's soul aura is not a secret to many people, and powerful treasures can locate from a long distance. Give Natasha a powerful imperial weapon? Their father-daughter relationship is not that good. And Natasha only has the cultivation of the first level of the God King, and the powerful imperial weapon may not be able to be used. Your Majesty, I will find a way myself when the time comes. Natasha said. Bamo Emperor Zun looked at his daughter with a complicated expression. Natasha, I wrote a letter to the Queen Hanjian, as for whether the Queen Hanjian agrees or not, it depends on your luck. Thank you, Your Majesty. Natasha said gratefully. She thought that Bamo Emperor Zun helped her to get her, but now it seems that she misunderstood Bamo Emperor Zun. Bamo Emperor Zun said, Poseidon will leave soon, you get ready. Ye Chen returned to the royal embassy, and there were more people living in the royal embassy. There are many calligraphy masters and grandmasters. Tomorrow's Juxiao calligraphy competition is definitely a top event, but Ye Chen is not in the mood to participate in tomorrow's Juxiao calligraphy competition. Luo Hanjian was very angry, and she didn't know why. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 148. After leaving Bamo Imperial City, Shen Kuo flew back with Ye Chen and the others on his sword. Ye Chen was not in a hurry to fly back. Luo Hongjian was just angry, but Hong Chensuo did not feel any fear. Nothing happened along the way. Ye Chen and the others arrived safely. The God's dynasty sent out strong men to kill Ye Chen halfway. But they didn't know that Ye Chen had left in advance. When they arrived at Bamo dynasty and got the news, Ye Chen and the others had already left far away, and it was difficult to track Ye Chen and the others at this time. Go to Tianyang dynasty. Ye Chen must die. The strong men of the God's dynasty left and rushed to Tianyang dynasty. They must save some face. Ye Chen was the soft persimmon they picked, and his status was high enough. Finally back. Deputy Commander Shen, you are a little slow, you must work hard to improve your strength. Ye Chen said in the middle of his mouth. Shen Kuo nodded, he was a little speechless. His current cultivation level of the 7th level of the God Emperor was good, right? As a sword cultivator, his flying speed is quite good. Go. Shen Kuo landed in the inner city of Tianyang Imperial City, and the carriage carried Ye Chen to Tianyang Imperial Palace quickly. After entering the Imperial Palace and changing to the Phoenix Paladin, the Phoenix Paladin went to Zilong Palace. Ye Chen. Luo Hongjian was waiting outside Zilong Palace. Seeing Ye Chen get off the sedan chair, she stepped forward quickly. Hongjian, did you miss me? Ye Chen said with a smile. Seeing that Luo Hongjian was fine, he felt relieved. The same was true for Luo Hongjian. Although Shen Kuo had sent back the news before he returned to the palace, Luo Hongjian could only feel completely relieved when she saw with her own eyes that Ye Chen was fine. You guys are always troublesome. Chakra Emperor has gone there. Fortunately, Chakra Emperor was discovered and killed by Bamo Emperor Zun and others. Luo Hongjian snorted. Ye Chen said helplessly, Hongjian, it was Prince William and the others who were jealous of me and took the initiative to cause trouble for me. The main responsibility lies with you. Who made you the most beautiful woman in the world? Luo Hongjian rolled her eyes at Ye Chen. Entering the Purple Dragon Palace, Luo Hongjian said, Ye Chen, I heard that the Northern Desert Emperor gave you Natasha as a gift, and you actually refused. Ye Chen nodded. Natasha is not beautiful. Luo Hongjian asked. Ye Chen coughed lightly and said, Hongjian, to be honest, she is still very beautiful. It is basically impossible for the 4th on the Juxiao beauty list to be ugly. Honesty, such a precious quality cannot be lost. Luo Hongjian smiled lightly and said, Ye Chen, didn't I tell you to bring Natasha back if you have the chance? Why don't you seize the opportunity? Ye Chen looked at Luo Hongjian, 3,000 weak waters, only take a scoop to drink, thousands of delicate plums, only pick a branch to love. Luo Hongjian's heart trembled. Such words are extremely lethal to her. If Ye Chen usually made a move on Lanxiu and the others, Luo Hongjian would not believe this. But with Lanxiu and the others' looks, Ye Chen never took advantage of them. Ye Chen, why is your cultivation so low? If you leave in the future, how can I live alone? I am rich in the world, I don't believe that I can't improve your cultivation and prolong your life. Luo Hongjian said in her heart. Her feelings for Ye Chen continued to deepen, and so did Ye Chen. If it weren't for his feelings for Luo Hongjian, with Ye Chen's current strength, he would take Lanxiu and the others away, and be free and unrestrained in the world. Wouldn't it be uncomfortable? When he wanted to sign in, Ye Chen could easily enter the Imperial Palace with his current strength. Ye Chen, you guys are a little slow to come back. Luo Hongjian chuckled. Ye Chen nodded, I also told Deputy Commander Shen Kuo to practice harder. It's not enough to have only the 7th level of the Divine Emperor. Luo Hongjian. She felt that Deputy Commander Shen Kuo should be powerless to complain when he heard what Ye Chen said. Ye Chen, I mean you came back too late. Emperor Poseidon came before you and brought gifts from Emperor Bamo. Ye Chen was stunned. Luo Hongjian clapped her hands, and Natasha actually came out from behind the purple dragon palace. Emperor Bamo and his men killed Emperor Chakra and saved your life. They accepted your calligraphy as a gift of beauty. What if our Tianyan dynasty accepted it? Luo Hongjian knew that accepting Natasha might be a little troublesome, but was she afraid? Even if the prince of the Bamo dynasty came to her, it would not be stressful for her. Ye Chen was speechless. He rejected Emperor Bamo himself, but Natasha still came here. Ye Chen, Natasha will be your maid next. Luo Hongjian decided it directly. The king never jokes. She has already said it, so this matter has been confirmed. Thank you, your majesty. Greetings to the queen. Natasha saluted. Ye Chen looked at Natasha, and there seemed to be a hint of cunning in her beautiful eyes like gemstones. Ye Chen refused, but she still came. Anlan, Qian, take Natasha to Fengming Palace, and hurry up to practice. Your practice has been delayed by going out. Ye Chen ordered. Yes, Empress. Anlangxiu and the others immediately took Natasha away. They didn't have to worry about Ye Chen in Zilong Palace. Hongjian, has anything important happened in the palace recently? Ye Chen asked. Luo Hongjian's smile faded, and she said in a deep voice, Fengming Palace was poisoned. Although there is no direct evidence, it is more than 90% likely that Taixuan Holy Land did it. If it weren't for Eunuch Lu finding out, everyone in Fengming Palace might have died. Ye Chen was furious. It was really too much for Taixuan Holy Land to do this. Prince Mu, the Queen Mother and others had poisoned him before, at least they were only targeting him. There are hundreds of people living in Fengming Palace, that's hundreds of lives, in their eyes, they are like grass. I ordered the execution of many prisoners who deserve to die according to the law in Taixuan Holy Land. Luo Hongjian said. Ye Chen was stunned. Luo Hongjian said it simply, but this matter was not simple. Taixuan Holy Land has certain privileges because of its strength, he knows this. Luo Hongjian said that she killed some people, which must not be a small number. Even if she didn't say it on the surface, many strong men in Taixuan Holy Land must have opinions. Hongjian, thank you. Ye Chen said, Luo Hongjian did this to a large extent to vent his anger. Luo Hongjian said calmly, Ye Chen, don't think too much, I just want to warn Taixuan Holy Land, they don't take me seriously by doing this in the palace. Forget about them, tell me what you saw and heard this time. I heard that a 4th level emperor took action and killed Peihakan with a stick. What's going on? Luo Hongjian was very confused about this. They don't have such a strong man in the Tianyan dynasty. Is there a hidden strong man of this level in the Bamo dynasty? There were no other people around. Ye Chen whispered, Hongjian, let me tell you a secret, it was actually me who took action, your husband, I am a great emperor. Currently the strength of the 7th level of the emperor. That stick is called the Ruyi Golden Cudgel, it can be long or short. When you reach the level of the Divine Emperor, let's spar and let you know how powerful I am. Luo Hongjian rolled her eyes, she felt that Ye Chen must be thinking about that again. When Ye Chen said that he had the strength of the emperor, she ignored it directly. Even if Luo Wanli was wrong, how could the Northern Desert Emperor be wrong? Luo Hongjian knew that the Northern Desert Emperor had the Starry Sky Plate, which was a semi-saint level treasure. The death of Emperor Chakra meant that the Northern Desert Emperor and his men had used the Starry Sky Plate. Ye Chen, you are only at the 2nd level of the innate realm, and your physical strength is limited. I'm afraid you will not be my opponent by then. Luo Hongjian said lightly. Ye Chen looked at Luo Hongjian unhappily. He was serious. Luo Hongjian and he drove. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 149. Hanjian, you will know when the time comes whether I have the strength or not. Ye Chen hummed softly. His strength is much stronger than Luo Hanjian's. Now that he has reached the 9th level of the God Emperor, it is certain that he will reach the level of the Great Emperor. Hanjian, this time I went to the Northern Desert Dynasty and brought some gifts to you and Chang'e. Ye Chen said. He took out some gifts for Luo Hanjian from the space treasure. Among them was a mutton fat jade bottle with an elixir inside. This is an S-level beauty pill. It was something Ye Chen got from signing in at the Emperor's Palace in the Northern Desert. Ye Chen, what is this? Luo Hanjian's eyes fell on the jade bottle. Her consciousness saw the elixir inside, and she felt that this elixir was unusual. Ye Chen said, Hanjian, I found this on a street stall. It cost 5 taels of silver. Luo Hanjian glanced at Ye Chen doubtfully. The 5 taels of silver on the stall were actually not too little. Could it be that Ye Chen saw that the elixir inside was unusual? Hanjian, I don't know what the elixir inside is, but this jade bottle is not simple, it is worth at least 100,000 taels. Ye Chen really bought this jade bottle from a street stall. It's worth at least 200,000 to 300,000 taels of silver. However, there was no elixir in it originally. The beauty elixir was put in by Ye Chen later. This jade bottle is indeed extraordinary. It shouldn't be easy to use the elixir in a jade bottle like this. Luo Hanjian sent the message, and soon a very powerful alchemy master came over. See your majesty. The old man who came over saluted respectfully. Yuan Qing's family, show me this pill. Luo Hanjian ordered, and the elixir was placed in a clean jade dish. Yes, your majesty. Mr. Yuan looked at the elixir. His initial impression of the elixir was very ordinary. It didn't have the unique glow of the elixir, and it seemed like something refined by an elixir boy. Yuan Lao's alchemy is very powerful and his cultivation level is not low. He is a strong man at the level of the God Emperor. With his eyesight, he soon discovered the extraordinary power of this elixir. The divine beauty is restrained, the universe is hidden. Your Majesty, this is a semi-holy level pill. Mr. Yuan said in disbelief. Luo Hanjian was stunned. She also felt that this elixir was extraordinary, but she did not expect that this elixir was so extraordinary. It was actually a semi-saint level elixir. Semi-saint level elixirs are much less valuable than semi-saint level treasures, but their value is also inestimable. Yuan Qing's family, what kind of elixir is this? Luo Hanjian asked quickly. Old Yuan said, Your Majesty, what kind of elixir is it? I need to check it carefully. The preliminary judgment seems to be that it is not an elixir for improving cultivation. Time passed minute by minute, and Mr. Yuan carefully identified it for half an hour. He took a deep breath and said, Your Majesty, I am more than 90% sure that it should be a beauty pill. It can almost keep youth forever. Luo Hanjian's heartbeat quickened. As a woman, something like this is extremely attractive. If a practitioner's age exceeds 1/3 of his lifespan, his appearance will begin to decline. Even the top emperor-level experts will start to lose their appearance after 200 or 300 years old. Ordinary beauty pills are useless to a strong person at the level of an emperor. Mr. Yuan, are you exaggerating when you say you are more than 90% sure? Luo Hanjian asked. Mr. Yuan bowed and said, Your Majesty, I am not exaggerating. On the contrary, I am a little conservative in what I said. In fact, according to my judgment, it is a half-saint level Zuyan Dan. It's almost impossible to fake something like this. In addition, I can guarantee 100% that it does not contain toxins. Luo Hanjian nodded lightly, I'm sorry to trouble the Yuan Qing family. The Yuan Qing family will keep this matter a secret. Yes, Your Majesty. I excuse myself. Mr. Yuan left. Luo Hongjian looked at Ye Chen. Ye Chen, now that you know it is a semi-saint level beauty pill, are you still willing to give it to me? It can be said to be a priceless treasure. If it is auctioned, the reserve price will be at least 1 million gold. Ye Chen chuckled and said, Hongjian, what you said is that if it is worth more, I won't give it to you. I am only a precious wife like you. Luo Hongjian took the initiative to give her a sweet kiss. The kiss lasted for several minutes. Ye Chen, I am rich all over the world, but I didn't give you much, but you gave me such a valuable treasure. Luo Hongjian said emotionally. If he hadn't reached the level of God Emperor yet, consummating the marriage now would affect his future training. Luo Hongjian wanted to give herself to Ye Chen now. Hongjian, we are husband and wife, we don't need to distinguish ourselves so clearly. Ye Chen pinched Luo Hongjian's pretty face and smiled. It feels really good. Luo Hongjian slapped Ye Chen's hand away. She was the emperor, so people could see how majestic she was. I will take the elixir now and see the effect. Luo Hongjian said impatiently that she still believed in Mr. Yuan's alchemy level, and Mr. Yuan would not talk nonsense about such matters. Soon Luo Hongjian took the elixir. She felt hot all over. A trace of mysterious power penetrated every cell in Luo Hongjian's body, and she clearly felt that her cell activity was greatly enhanced. Luo Hongjian judged that if she could live for 1,000 years, her appearance should be able to maintain her peak condition for 1,000 years. In addition, the cells are highly active, which will be of great benefit to her cultivation. Ye Chen, it is indeed a semi-saint level anti-aging pill. Luo Hongjian opened her eyes and said in surprise. Ye Chen looked at Luo Hongjian with a smile. Of course, he was sure that this was a semi-saint level anti-aging pill. Product of the system, how could it be wrong? Hongjian, the anti-aging pill removes some dirt from your body. Do you want me to help you take a bath? You wish. Luo Hongjian disappeared in an instant, and her body was a little sticky. Ye Chen left and returned to Fengming Palace. Chunlin and the others were overjoyed to see Ye Chen return safely, but they also looked a little aggrieved. Ye Chen actually had another maid like Natasha. Will they be completely ignored in the future? Chunlin, go to Jingxiu Palace and ask Chang'e to come over. Ye Chen ordered. He planned to give the marrow cleansing pill he had obtained by signing in before to Luo Yudi. Luo Yudi's cultivation has improved a lot. She has almost completely absorbed the medicinal power of the marrow cleansing pill, which can improve her cultivation and talent a lot. Inside the Purple Dragon Palace. After taking a bath, Luo Hongjian looked at herself in the mirror in a trance. The anti-aging pill improved her appearance a little bit. If my strength is enough, I can maintain my current appearance for 700 or 800 years, or even thousands of years, but Ye Chen's current lifespan is only 120 years. If his cultivation is not improved, what's the use of me taking this semi-saint level anti-aging pill? Luo Hongjian murmured to herself, it seems that En Langxiu and the others have to work harder. The weather is still relatively cold, and this season is a good time to take a hot spring bath. Thinking of this, Luo Hongjian sent a message, En Langxiu, Lu Qianqian, the hot springs in the palace are good, you call the emperor and Natana, go to the hot springs. Soak in the same pool, protect the emperor and the empress. En Langxiu and Lu Qianqian were together, and they stared at each other blankly. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Dit. Chapter 150. They were wearing very few clothes while soaking in the hot springs. En Langxiu and Lu Qianqian were both a little shy. En Lan, what do you mean, Your Majesty? Lu Qianqian said via voice transmission. En Langxiu said, what else can you mean? I definitely hope that the Empress can work harder to practice. You see, The Empress lies down and rests when she comes back. When can her cultivation level be improved? Get your clothes ready, talk to Natasha, and then we'll call the queen to set off. We'll tell the queen when we get there. Lu Qianqian nodded slightly. If they explained it to Ye Chen now, they felt that Ye Chen would probably refuse. Natasha was standing next to Ye Chen at this time. Ye Chen asked her to stand, but Ye Chen was basking in the sun and reading a book and ignored her. She has just been checked by the companion Chen Liu. She is not a spy planted by the Northern Desert Emperor, but Ye Chen still hopes that she will give up and take the initiative to leave. Natasha's face suddenly turned a little red. En Langxiu sent a message to her and told Luo Hongjian that she asked them to go to the hot spring. Natasha, don't worry about what the Empress will do to you. If you can seduce the Empress and make her seize the time to practice in the future, His Majesty may even give you a big reward. Your Majesty hopes that the Emperor and Empress can improve their cultivation and live longer. Qianqian and I have been in the palace for several months, but it has no effect at all. En Langxiu explained. She felt a little frustrated. Aren't she and Lu Qianqian beautiful? Okay. Natasha replied. She was actually quite interested in Ye Chen. Emperor Bamo told her that Ye Chen's calligraphy, piano skills, and chess skills were all at a god-level, extremely powerful. Natasha, the plan is this dash. En Langxiu communicated with Natasha through another message. Natasha had some doubts. Luo Hongjian arranged for them to go to the hot spring together. Would Ye Chen still be unwilling? Do you still need to plan like this? Seducing the Emperor and Empress, this should be a pretty simple task. Natasha has confidence in herself. In Jingxia Palace, Chang'e got the news and quickly followed Chunlin to Fengming Palace. Brother-in-law! Luo Yudi exclaimed in surprise. Ye Chen is often in her mind these days. Concubine Shu looked anxious in her eyes. There is nothing you can do. Luo Hongjian promised a gift like that to Luo Yudi before, but her blind date with Luo Yudi failed again this time. Chang'e, my brother-in-law went to the Northern Desert Dynasty and brought you some gifts. I got a marrow cleansing pill from there. Open your mouth and give it to you now. After eating, you can retreat here. If you have any questions, Lan and the others can help. Ye Chen took out the marrow cleansing pill that he had obtained by signing in before and handed it to Luo Yudi. Luo Yudi ate it without hesitation. It is absolutely impossible for Ye Chen to harm himself. Luo Yudi has a high degree of trust in Ye Chen. Hurry up to the training room and practice. Ye Chen sent Luo Yudi to the training room. Luo Yudi felt that the meridians and danshan in her body were rapidly changing, becoming more resilient and stronger. En Langxiu and the others knew about Luo Yudi's situation and postponed their trip to the hot spring. A whole day passed. The A-level marrow cleansing pill transformed Luo Yudi. Her cultivation has reached the Ningyang level. He is already at the level of Ningyang even before he is 15 years old, which is quite powerful. With Luo Yudi's current talent, she is expected to reach the realm of the God King before she is 18 years old. Chang Li, congratulations on reaching the Ningyang level. But don't be too proud. We will spend the next few days consolidating it. Ye Chen warned. Luo Yudi opened her eyes and said with great gratitude, brother-in-law, thank you. This marrow cleansing pill is so powerful. Its value should be much higher than that colorful flowing skirt, right? I don't know, it's just a pill. Ye Chen shook his head and said, the marrow cleansing pill is an A-level reward, which is of course much better than the B-level colorful flowing skirt. The value is at least 10 times higher. Practice well. Ye Chen exited the training room, and Luo Yudi looked at him with something wrong. He sighed secretly in his heart. It seemed that he would have less contact with Luo Yudi in the future. This girl is prone to random thoughts at her age. Luo Yudi continued to practice, and she felt sweet in her heart. Her brother-in-law still cared about her. It's a pity that the level of this marrow cleansing pill is too high, and my brother-in-law can't use it himself. Ordinary marrow cleansing pills have no effect on my brother-in-law. Luo Yudi secretly thought. She knew that Luo Hongjian had given Ye Chen a marrow cleansing pill. The effect is almost non-existent. In the Phoenix chariot, Ye Chen closed his eyes and rested. He didn't sleep last night and kept paying attention to Luo Yudi's situation. The marrow cleansing pill is too powerful, so you can't do bad things with good intentions. Fortunately, everything is normal. Empress, we're here. 10 minutes passed and An Langxiu spoke. Ye Chen opened his eyes and got off the Phoenix chariot. He was stunned. Nuanshui Garden? He knew this place, the hot spring bathing place in Tianyang Emperor's Palace. Each pool is filled with natural hot spring water. The concubines in the harem used to come here often, but now he is the only empress in the harem and he has never come. What are you doing here? Ye Chen was confused. An Langxiu smiled and said, Empress, your Majesty said that the spring water here has the effect of prolonging life, and asked you to come over and try it. You have been out for a hard time, so come here to relieve your fatigue. It's okay to take a dip. You guys wait outside, I'll be out in a while. Ye Chen entered the warm water garden. He was a little interested in the hot springs in the imperial palace. Not long after, Ye Chen found a pool and soaked in it comfortably. Not bad. The water contains a faint spiritual energy. If you soak in it more, it really has a certain effect of prolonging life. Ye Chen continued to close his eyes and rest. He fell asleep soon. Splash. Someone entered the pool where he was soaking, and there was more than one. Huh. Ye Chen woke up with a start. He opened his eyes immediately, and he was stunned the next second. It turned out to be An Langxiu, Lu Qianqian, and Natasha. The three women were not dressed revealingly, but compared with ordinary clothes, they were already very cool. Large areas of snow-white skin were exposed. Natasha had a great figure. An Langxiu and Lu Qianqian also had pretty good figures. What are you doing here? Go. Ye Chen closed his eyes and shouted. An Langxiu said weakly, Empress, it was His Majesty who asked us to come and accompany you to take a hot spring bath, saying that in this way we can protect your safety closely. Ye Chen. Luo Hongjian's arrangement is simply fatal. He is a normal man. Luo Hongjian cannot be eaten for the time being, and letting An Langxiu and others seduce him like this, he has nowhere to vent his anger. You go, or I go. Ye Chen said in a deep voice. He felt that he had to reveal a certain strength in front of Luo Hongjian. Exposing part, hiding part, and then giving Luo Hongjian a surprise at that time is also good. Otherwise, Luo Hongjian always arranges An Langxiu and others to seduce herself, which is very stressful. Empress, don't be angry, we will leave immediately. Lu Qianqian signaled An Langxiu and Natasha to leave quickly, and Ye Chen seemed angry. Already called herself this palace. After leaving the hot spring and changing back to her original clothes, Natasha felt a little incredible. An Langxiu and Lu Qianqian were beauties of the same level as himself. The three of them took a hot spring bath with Ye Chen, but Ye Chen was so cruel that he drove them away. Half an hour later, Ye Chen left, and the Phoenix Paladin arrived at the Purple Dragon Palace. Luo Hongjian had just left the court. She had received news from An Langxiu and the others that things were not going well. Hongjian, let's talk. Ye Chen said seriously. Luo Hongjian frowned. Ye Chen, I was planning to talk to you too. I would rather you be a little more lustful than die and I be alone, understand? Ye Chen looked at Luo Hongjian and was moved. Hongjian, I'll tell you a secret. Luo Hongjian rolled her eyes. Are you going to say again that you are a great emperor-level strongman? Ye Chen coughed lightly. Hongjian, I admit this, I lied. Luo Hongjian said unhappily, you don't need to admit it, I know it very well. Hongjian, I confess, in fact, I don't have the cultivation of the great emperor level now, I only have the cultivation of the divine emperor level. Luo Hanjian. Hanjian, if you don't believe it, let's find a place to spar, and you will know. A serious sparring. Luo Hanjian's face was slightly red, she thought Ye Chen was stimulated by the hot spring just now. Are you sure? Luo Hanjian said strangely, Ye Chen's cultivation was obviously only the second level of innate. She could kill people at the innate level with just a breath. Sure, I am still very confident to beat you. Ye Chen was full of confidence. Luo Hanjian reached out and touched Ye Chen's forehead. No fever. Warm reminder, if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to inform us, we will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding.